Reboots. Why do they exist? Why do we want to see the same movie that we've already seen before, but new? And the simple answer is money. Money. It makes so much money. Reboots can simply just be an easy rehash of a film that already exists, which isn't really necessary at all. My general opinion on reboots is stop. Reboots can be genuinely amazing though, when you can tell that the creators and the people who've worked on this have insane levels of respect for the original work and are just putting their own spin on it. And well, one of these reboots which genuinely surprised me is Evil Dead 2013. Now, I'm a pretty big fan of the original Evil Dead, or anything Evil Dead related, including the TV show, which is sadly cancelled and dead. Evil Dead.
What's better than a handful of my nuts?
Evil Dead as a franchise kinda lay dormant for a few years, until 2013, when Evil Dead, the same name as the first movie, which is kind of confusing, but whatever, came out. This movie was met with a strong reaction because it's pretty gory. You know, I don't even think I can show most of what happens. This film was a full-on reboot from the original. Everything was changed. Ash? No, more like bash him out of here. He's not in this movie. Another key difference in this movie from the original Evil Deads is they remove the comedy aspect almost completely. While the movie does have fun with itself and like, oh, the demons are crazy, they're terrifying. Really, really scary. I love blood. 70,000 gallons of blood was used for this movie alone, which is insane and really cool. Just as a creepy example, a human holds 1.5 gallons of blood, so that means nearly 70,000 people died to make this movie. Except they didn't, because it was all fake. In Evil Dead 2013, we watched the story of Mia, a recovering drug addict who is being helped by her friends to overcome this addiction in the woods, alone. Great idea, guys. Thumbs up. Her friends find a book. A spooky, scary book. The Book of the Dead. The Necronomicon. Which has a cute little face on it. Except not in this one, they got rid of the face for some reason, I don't know. So, it isn't really suspicious when Mia gets taken over by a demon, because they think, hey, this is just what normally happens from withdrawal. That's completely fine, you know. Tearing people's arms off, don't worry about it. Taking off my own face, that's no problem at all. That's just drug addiction. That's all. It's just heroin. And as soon as Mia is taken over by the demon, the movie kicks into overdrive, and holy shit, it does not hold back at all. There is not a single moment after the demon possession where you can breathe. It is completely suffocating in the amount of gore, intensity, and just absolute violence you will witness. And it's awesome. Genuinely, this is a great horror film that takes elements from the original, but makes something completely different, which is what makes a great reboot. That is an effective reboot. It takes the original movie and gets rid of the comedy and replaces it with solid horror and gore, and I couldn't ask for more. That rhymed. This deserves the title of a reboot, because what Fede Alvarez does with this movie is take the franchise in a new direction, rebooting it, which makes the series have a new life. Evil Dead itself has gone on to make more movies, such as Evil Dead Rise, which also continue to take the series in new directions. Long gone are the days of Ash Williams, and if you still love Ash, that's fine. You can watch the great TV show, which is still... Ooh. Oh no. Oh. All these things just make Evil Dead really stand out as a horror franchise, because when you look at most horror franchises, it's kind of a mess. You know, a lot of franchises just go from good, decent movies to absolute slop. But Evil Dead is a franchise with all quality horror films and a great show that isn't finished, but is still existing, which in my opinion makes this reboot successful. It deserves the title of a reboot. It puts life back into the franchise, which was dormant, and also just delivers a great film. What's so great about this film as well is Fede Alvarez's directing. And the direction and work done on this film feels like it was made by a demon itself because of how unrelenting and fast-paced it can be. We really feel empathetic towards the characters as we're taken on this experience with them where shit just goes wrong. Very, very, very wrong. This feeling also comes in large part to Jane Levy's performance in this movie. Levy gives the best demonic performance in Evil Dead, in my opinion. She holds on to the slight comedy of the original while also being actually scary.
Not another piece.
I also appreciate the fact that this movie gave lead to Evil Dead Rise, where another great demonic performance would be. And honestly, if there's no Ash in the series, I hope they just continue with great demons. I would touch on the deaths in this movie, but I think if I showed them, YouTube would give me a few spankings and not the light ones. So I'm just gonna tell you, and you have to believe me, they are good, okay? I don't think there's a boring death in this movie. I think that the effect and the change of character that this possession has over Mia is a reflection of the effects of drug addiction itself, how it can push friends, family away to dire extremes, literally dying in this movie, which is a bit of an exaggeration, but still, in the end, Mia is left alone with nothing to fight except the last demon, which is an internal demon. Throughout the film, we witness the strains on relationships Mia has with people, going without talking to them for months, or not even talking to her own brother when horrible stuff happens in the family, simply because of her addiction. So, she literally has to cut off her addiction with a chainsaw, which is really badass. I'm sure Ash would be proud. Boy, do I miss Ash. Oh my god, he's at the end of the movie? Oh!
Groovy.
He's at the end of the movie for like 3 seconds. So as a reboot, I think Evil Dead 2013 achieves everything a reboot should strive to. Putting life back into the series, making new great characters, and honestly just doing something original. Horror is definitely a genre for creatives and gets so many people into the field of filmmaking because it's so artistic. It's like the Wild West of film. You know, you can do whatever you want in horror. You can kill a kid. You want to kill a kid? Kill a kid. You want to do some drug addiction stuff? Go do some drugs. Oh yeah, this is 18 plus. We can do whatever we want. And I wish more genres allowed the exploration that horror does. And also, what can you expect from Fede Alvarez? Alien Romulus, of course. The original Alien is my favorite film ever. So I can't wait for Romulus. And after watching Evil Dead reboot, I'm sure it'll be good. This video was pretty evil. You know what's not evil? Subscribing to my channel right now. That would be greatly appreciated. Maybe even like the video. I should say this at the start, shouldn't I?
What's better than a handful of my nuts?